So in this application of laser, we are going to study the engineering application, which is laser welding. So the welding operation, it requires, suppose there are two metal strips to be welded together, and this is my area of weld. Then in this area of weld is exposed to the laser beam, such that the laser beam, when it is exposed to this area, it will increase the temperature of the metal above its melting point. So the metal will melt, and after cooling it will form a firm joint. Now this process of heating, if it is performed in presence of air, then it might be chances that the oxidation of metal will take place. That is, suppose if these are the two copper strips, then if these two copper strips are heated in presence of air or oxygen, then it might happen that oxygen from air get mixed up with the metal and it forms a CO2, CuO, that is copper oxide. It may form copper oxide. So oxidation of metal will take place if the heating is performed in presence of air or oxygen. And if the oxides are formed, then the joint will become a brittle joint. So this joint will not be a good joint if the oxidation of metal occurs, or if there are two iron strips and if the heating is done in presence of oxygen or in presence of air, then instead of iron it becomes iron oxide, that is Fe2O3, ferrous oxide, Fe2O3. So if the oxidation takes place, if the oxygen atom gets attached to the metal, it is called as a metal oxide. So if this oxygen is attached to the copper, it is called as copper oxide, and therefore such metal strips will give rise to a brittle joint, and therefore heating should be avoided in presence of oxygen or in presence of air. So in order to do that, and the second aim is we should be able to perform the heating of this metal with the help of a laser beam. With the help of a laser beam. So that is what is done over here. Here look at the construction. Here this laser beam is incident inside the jacket. So this is the jacket. And at the corner of this jacket there is a reflecting mirror which is held at an angle of 45 degrees. So that incidence of the laser beam is made normal onto a lens. So here there is a biconvex lens which is used to focus this laser beam which is coming from the reflecting mirror. Here it is incident normally onto the focusing lens, and this focusing lens will further converge this laser beam into a very fine and sharp beam, so that this laser beam becomes finally very intense and very sharp. Then here this is the position of a workpiece. So here we can use these two metal strips as a workpiece which needs to be welded together. So these are the two metal strips, and this is the area which is to be welded together. So this is the area of weld. So this is how we can increase the temperature of this weld area with the help of a laser beam, because laser is, we have seen the peculiar properties associated with the laser, that it is highly monochromatic in nature, it is highly intense, highly bright, highly unidirectional in nature, and so on. So here we use the high intensity laser beam, and if you recall how we can increase the intensity of the laser beam, we can increase the intensity of the laser beam by increasing the reflectivity of the partially reflecting mirror. If the reflectivity of the partially reflecting mirror is increased, then we can increase the intensity of the laser beam. So here we use a very high intense beam so that it will increase the temperature of this metal above its melting point. Even we can use this laser for drilling purposes. So laser can also be used for drilling operation. Again the same technique is same, that it will increase the temperature of the metal above its melting point, so the metal will melt at the exposure of the laser beam, and since the metal is melted, so the metal will be removed and it will form the drills. So this is the engineering application of laser, that is laser welding or drilling. Then
Hello.
yes.
Sir, what about gas for shielding?
Yes. There is the important thing which I forget to mention. So here we use a gas for shielding. So we use here the inert gas. So these inert gases, they will stop the oxidation process. So if the heating is performed in presence of an inert gas atmosphere, then it will prevent the mixing of oxygen which is attached to the metal. So we can prevent the heating of this metal in presence of air or oxygen by using the shielding gas. So here this probe of this laser is filled with the shielding gas, so that heating is performed in presence of a shielding gas, which is an inert gas basically, so that we can prevent the heating in presence of oxygen or air, and therefore we can avoid the oxidation of the metal, so that the joints which are welds which are performed, they are very firm, they are not brittle. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then the another application of laser is the medical application, which is used for removal of blockages from the coronary artery. You know that these blockages, commonly known as a plaque, arterial plaque. These plaques, or you may simply call them as blockages or the fats which are deposited in the artery. And the function of the artery is to reach out the blood to the heart, and if the blockages are developed in the artery, then it narrows the path of blood, and therefore it gives rise to the heart attacks. It causes the heart attacks. So that is the reason of heart attacks. So here, due to the aging effect and due to the consumption of lot of oily foods and fast food, usually the plaque called as it is known as a plaque, but it is actually a fats, and the layer of fats known as cholesterol, these layers keeps on increasing. So you are looking at the sectional view. So it is surrounded everywhere. So here in this sectional view you can see in 2 dimension that the layer of this plaque, it keeps on increasing. So if it keeps on increasing, it gives rise to a pinch off. So this pinch off, it narrows the path of the blood as compared to the normal dimension of the artery. If this is the normal dimension of the artery, as compared to this, if due to rise in the size of plaque, the path for the blood flow is reduced, and if this keeps on increasing, then it will choke the path of the blood. So it will stop the blood supply to the heart, and as the blood supply to the heart is stopped, then it may cause the heart attacks. So the patient who gone through the heart attack, they can be cured by removing the plaque with the help of a laser beam. Then for this, initially the angiography is performed. In case of angiography, with the help of a cathedral is reached to the location of heart, and through that we pass a dye which which get mixed with the blood, and that dye can be mapped under the X-ray. So we can actually locate where is the position of the blockage is there, and once the position of blockage is located, then at the same position we insert the cathedral, which is composed of a fiber optic cable, and through that fiber optic cable we inject a laser pulse into this fiber optic cable. up to the position of the plaque. So when the laser beam is incident on the plaque, then this laser beam will melt the plaque. So as soon as it melts the plaque, then the blockage has been removed completely, and the arterial wall, it will regain its shape back, and the normal blood flow will happen again. So this is how the blockages can be removed from the coronary artery with the help of a laser and with the help of a fiber optic cable. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then another important application of laser is holography. This holography is a Greek word, and this technique, that is holography, was invented by a scientist whose name was Dennis Gabor. ये MCQ type question में पूछ सकते हैं that who invented the holography. So Dennis Gabor is the name of scientist who invented this technique called as holography, and it is a Greek word. This holo stands for entire or complete, and graphy stands for recording. So holography, it stands for complete recording. Now what is mean by complete recording? If you take any photograph, then if you look at that photograph, it is basically a two-dimensional recording of a three-dimensional object. For example, if you take the photograph of any person, then that particular person is a three-dimensional object. While if you take the photograph of that person, then that photograph is just a two-dimensional recording of a three-dimensional object. The reason behind it is the photographic film is sensitive to only intensity variation, while it is not sensitive to the phase distribution. So at the time of recording, it will record only the intensity variations, while the phase distributions are lost with the help of an ordinary camera. While in case of holography, this Dennis Gabor, he suggested that we can record the not only the intensity distribution, but we can also record the phase distributions. And if we can record the phase distribution, then we can have a complete three-dimensional recording of a three-dimensional object, and that is why it is called as a complete recording, or it is called as a holography. So this holography technique, it not only record the intensity distributions, but it also record the phase distributions. While in case of ordinary camera, it only record the intensity distributions. It only records the intensity distributions. It cannot record the phase distribution. While holography, we can record intensity distribution as well as phase distributions, and therefore it is called as a three-dimensional recording of a three-dimensional object. Now another important property of this holography technique is, if you take the ordinary photograph, which is a two-dimensional recording of a three-dimensional object, and if you cut it into large number of pieces, एक कोई भी photograph लिया और उसको आपने cut किया into large number of pieces, and if you take a single piece of that photograph, from that photograph, and ask any person that identify whose photograph is this, the answer is obviously I don't know, because from that small piece you cannot recognize the person whose image is this in the normal photograph. So if you take a normal two-dimensional photograph with the help of a camera, if you cut it into large number of pieces, take a small piece out of it and ask anyone that identify the person, nobody will be able to identify it. But on the other hand, if you take a hologram of any person, if you record a hologram of any person or any three-dimensional object, and if you cut that hologram into large number of pieces, and from that large number of pieces, if you take a single piece of a hologram, and if you incident a laser beam again onto that small piece of a hologram, that small piece of hologram is able to reconstruct the entire three-dimensional image back. So this is the difference between the normal photograph and hologram. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
that is why this holography is very important, and it produces such a real image because it is a three-dimensional image. So if you take a hologram of any person, and if that hologram is incident again by a laser pulse, then it produces such a three-dimensional real image that you will feel that the same that the person is sitting over there instead of the person. You will though it is completely virtual, but you will feel that the person is over there. So this is the basic difference between the normal photography and holography. And this holography has again a large number of applications. One of the application is biometric card readers, which are used for attendance monitoring. That has been installed in every office. You go and place your index finger over there, and that earlier the three-dimensional image of that index finger is recorded at the time of installation. And every day when you go to the office and place your index finger on that biometric machine, then it will map exact three-dimensional image of your index finger with the originally recorded finger, and then your login takes place. So this is one of the application of holography, which is biometric readers. Then this holography technique is further used by medical students to record the development of fetus in various stages. That is, how is the development of fetus in first month, how is the development of the fetus in second month, third month, up to 9 month, because every time availability of the fetus is a problem, that you cannot have such different stages of fetuses available in your laboratory to be studied for the medical students. So that can be recorded with the help of this holography. It is again a three-dimensional recording of the fetus, and therefore it is being used by the medical students. There are certain viruses and bacteria which grows in 3 dimension, and how the growth of these bacteria takes place, that is day 1, day 2, day 3 up to 7 day, how the growth of these bacteria or viruses takes place, that can be recorded with the help of hologram, and that is being used by the biotechnology students. So these are various applications of holography, but there is one problem with this holography, that by looking at ordinary photograph you can clearly identify whose image is this, but if you look at the hologram, just by barely looking at the hologram you cannot identify what is being recorded inside it. So there are two processes which are involved in this holography technique. One is the recording of a hologram. First basic thing is how to record a three-dimensional image of a three-dimensional object. That is the process called as recording of a hologram. And the second thing is we need to reconstruct the image back from the hologram. So the second technique, second process which is involved in this holography is the reconstruction of image back from the hologram. So we'll see these processes one by one. So recording a hologram. Now for recording a hologram, let us consider that this is my three-dimensional object whose three-dimensional image is to be recorded. So this is, let us consider any tree for example. So this is my three-dimensional object. Now for recording of a hologram, initially a laser pulse is incident on a beam splitter. Now this beam splitter may be a glass plate, simple plain glass plate, because on glass plate when light is incident on glass, which is a transparent material, you know that part of the incident light is reflected, part of it is transmitted, and part of it is absorbed. So whatever be the laser beam which is incident on this glass plate, it will split the incident beam into two beams. One of the beam is transmitted through it, so this is the transmitted beam through the beam splitter, and one of the beam is reflected from this glass plate. So it is, so the reflected beam from the glass plate, or you may call it as a beam splitter, so it will split the incident laser beam, this is the incident laser beam, it will split up into two beams. One of the beam is called as the transmitted beam, the other beam is called as the reflected beam. Now this reflected beam is allowed to fall on this hologram, or it is called as a holographic plate. So this is my hologram, this is the position of hologram which is to be placed, so that the beam which is reflected from the beam splitter, it is allowed to fall on the holographic plate, and such beam is called as a reference beam. So the beam which is reflected from the beam splitter and which is allowed to fall on the holographic plate or hologram is called as a reference beam. So this beam is called as the reference beam. Then the transmitted beam from the beam splitter is allowed to fall on the three-dimensional object, and once the laser beam is incident on this three-dimensional object, it gets again reflected back. So the reflected beam from the three-dimensional object is known as the object beam. So it is known as the object beam, and the object beam which is reflected from this three-dimensional object, it is also again allowed to fall on this holographic plate. So here this holographic plate, it actually records the interference pattern of the two laser beams. One of the laser beam is called as the reference beam, while the other beam is called as the object beam. ये दो लेजर बीम का इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न यहाँ पे रिकॉर्ड करेगा होलोग्राम. सो होलोग्राम इट बेसिकली records the interference pattern of the two laser beams. One is the reference beam and other one is the object beam. Then once the image has been recorded in this hologram, by barely looking at this hologram with your eyes, you cannot identify what is being recorded inside it. So the second step is the reconstruction of image back from the hologram. And in order to reconstruct the image back from the hologram, what you have to do is you have to incident the laser beam at the same angle of incidence at which this reference beam was falling initially at the time of recording. So you have to incident again a laser beam onto this holographic plate, or you may call it as a hologram simply. So when the laser beam is again incident at the same angle, कौन से angle पे? At the same angle at which this reference beam was falling initially at the time of recording, जितने angle से ये reference beam incident हुआ था इस पे, उतने ही angle से हमको फिर से यहाँ पे laser beam incident करना पड़ेगा. Then the transmitted laser beam from this hologram, it will produce a complete three-dimensional image back of the three-dimensional object, and it is called as a virtual image because it is not real. So this will produce a complete three-dimensional image back from the hologram. So it is called as the reconstruction of image from the hologram. So these are the two processes. One is the recording of hologram and other one is the reconstruction of image from the hologram. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ये ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप क्वेश्चन में आ सकता है. व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ बीम स्प्लिटर. देन ये भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है दैट in case of a hologram, this hologram, it actually records the interference pattern of which two images. So it actually records the interference pattern of reference beam and the object beam. Then इस पे भी MCQ type question आ सकता है that in order to reconstruct the image back from the hologram, laser beam has to be incident at which angle. तो ऑप्शन में रह सकता है at the same angle at which reference beam was falling initially at the time of recording, at the same angle at which object beam was falling initially at the time of recording, at any angle. ऐसे कुछ भी ऑप्शन में रह सकते हैं. नॉर्मल, इंसिडेंस, 90 डिग्री, 60 डिग्री, कोई भी ऑप्शन ऐसे रह सकते हैं, बना के पूछ सकते हैं. सो दिस इज व्हाट इज द about holography.